Hello there, it's Nooch, and there's a big conversation going on today in Nooch's server about the devs. Do they care about the game? Do they not? Should Nooch just be positive about the game no matter what we feel? There's a lot of emotions about this game right now, but the primary thing Nooch wants to discuss today is this comment from when Nooch was on GKM's stream, I think it was last night, and GKM said that the developers don't care about the game. And guys, I just don't agree with that. Nooch does not think that that is true. We're going to talk about why that is. And we're going to play little bricks. We'll run bricks in the background while we talk about it and have a conversation. Okay, let's go ahead and load this up. We're going to see when to go from. We'll go north or south, whatever. Okay. So here's the deal. Nooch was on GKM's stream last night, and we were talking about the state of the game, and the state of the game is really frustrating for so many reasons. You know, people that have been playing this game for a long time, we've been looking for more content, game and, end game content, and all we've gotten, we've said this repeatedly, this game is a really good game for people that are playing it in the first 6 months. But after you get past 6 months, there's just not a lot of visible end game content for you to go after, and it just is a really big frustration for members of the community. This community is pretty vocal about being frustrated about the game, the direction of it, and everywhere it's going. Now that leads me to something. Who should the community be frustrated with? And is it important to pick a target, right? Should we pick a target and then should we complain at the developers all day long until they give us the changes we want? Or should we just accept that Gameloft is not going to invest in this game? Should we just accept that Gameloft is not going to invest in this game because the game has shown no impetus, no signal, no hint that's going to produce a lot of money for them? And LEGO has not invested in the game. And therefore, the game is going to develop at a slow, regular, even pace, maybe for a long time, maybe for a short time, completely out of control of the development team. And let's talk about that for a minute. I want to talk about, and I do these first two bits because I hate when Locust taunts right at the beginning. I just don't trust them to use builders right, and then they go. Okay, so who are the developers? Who are these new developers? So we know that in November, up until November, the community had these developers that in Discord were very vocal and talked to the community a lot. We had a lot of public discussions about where the game is going, what's coming, what do you guys want, let's see if we can give it to you, here comes a raid, etc. And then in October, we lost that development team. We got a new one at the beginning of November, right? We've come to find out that that team is based in Ukraine, which for some reason is setting off a bunch of people just that they're based in Ukraine. You know, if we get mad at Ukraine, where is President Biden? Where are his sons going to work? Sorry, political jab, sorry. But really, I mean, guys and gals and people, who are the developers? We went from a larger development team on this game at the beginning. I think that Gameloft invested in the game at the beginning of the game for the first really year, from the beta to the time that the team was replaced, was a year. And Gameloft invested in the game. There was a little advertising from LEGO. They put a really good size, probably a right size development team on the game and said, go have at it. The team was very active with the Discord community and very interested in doing things that the community wanted. They were very responsive and everything. Well, come a year into it, the game is not making enough money to support that team. The game was making, generally this game makes between $60,000 to $80,000 a month. That's the total revenue. And when you look at games like Raid Shadow Legends making, $10 million a month, or other games, just other games moving along and making money at a much better pace to support a bigger development team, this game just doesn't show that it's going to support that big development team. Now, we can argue all day about, is the game really trying to make money? Are they doing the proper things to encourage whales? Well, I got to be honest, guys. They've said multiple times publicly that that's not their goal. They've said multiple times publicly that the goal of this game is not to encourage whale activity. The goal of the game is to keep it so that it's playable for everyone, so that free-to-play players can have fun. And I really think that when the maybe the original licensing agreement came from Lego, that they want to keep it completely kid-friendly, front to back. That's why we can't have our own names. We can't have real chat in-game. To me, those are two big things. I said this on GKM stream. The fact that we, adults who have wallets, cannot put our own name in game. I can't be Nooch in game for whatever reason, because Nooch is not offensive. I can't talk to other people in game just by talking. I can't say, hey guys, what's up? Make sure you get your dailies done. I have to use these special messages, which is a step above nothing. I agree with that. And it really indicates to Nooch that the game is not here to focus on people with wallets. And they've said it multiple times. They don't want to. Nooch brought it up when the new developers came and said, "Hey, are you guys gonna be able to continue the game?" And put this on Facebook. Will you be able to continue the game without people investing in it? And they said, "We're trying to keep it friendly and free to play for everyone." Guys, that means a small development team. That means a small and affordable development team in the Ukraine, I guess. Now let's talk a little bit about the developers. For those who would say that the developers don't care about the game. The very first thing, and I want us to let's put ourselves in the shoes of our game developers. And let's say, for instance, we all know that, well, maybe you don't know, but Nooch got a new job here recently. Let's say that Nooch walked into that new job and everything is changing all around him. Like, there are these existing systems that are there and everybody knows how to use them. And all of that is changing while Nooch is a new leader in the group, and we have to completely adapt everything we do to this new system. And in the meantime, there are lots of catastrophes happening all around. Let's say that that's happening. So here is the question, guys. Is Nooch immediately to blame for that? Well, the answer is no. Does Nooch take accountability for that and work on ways to fix it and make it better over time? The answer is yes. Does Nooch have a lot to learn before he's able to put changes in place to make things better? The answer is yes. Does Nooch need to get to know the people around him, get to know the system, get to know what's going on? It takes time to get to know those things. And that's what I can compare these developers to. They've walked into a situation where they knew nothing. This is like an overnight change by Gameloft. They said, we're done investing in the game. We are done investing in this game. So we're going to put our more affordable, smaller development team on here, which, guys, Nooch has been talking to them in the content creator program chats on Discord. We're going to put them in the game, and they need to learn it and start developing. Now, we've seen they brought out the All-Star events. They've had some really challenging nodes in the anniversary event. There have been some really interesting things that have happened with the game in the last couple of months. But our next big update, is not until the end of April. And we have no idea what's coming in there. They're not telling the content creators. They're not telling us, is a raid coming? They really are not very forthcoming with what is coming in that update. I'm going to go north. There was a team up here that Nooch wants to run into. It's that team with gens, and I never get to play it. So, anyway, I wanted to get a reinforcement. We're going to back out. So that's one thing. These guys, I'm not willing to say they need more time. That's not, we can't keep saying that. They have to be accountable for the game, right? But if we're saying they don't care about the game, that means one of two things. They're coming to work with the idea that I don't care. I don't care about my job. My job means nothing to me. It's not important. My kids at home, in my apartment or my house that I have to support and feed, our vacation we want to take to Euro Disney next year. No, none of that matters. I don't care about this game or anything that happens. That would be the attitude that someone would have to have for us to say that they don't care. And guys, the game developers, and these are not wealthy people making broad decisions about the future of this game. These are people like you and me, working jobs, supporting their families, paying their rent, paying their utilities, paying for a car, needing the money they make on a daily basis to get by. I guarantee you that people out there in the world, 95+% of people, come into work every day trying to do a good job and caring about the product they put out, whatever that is. Driving a truck, flipping a burger, doing a tour of a wildlife park. Whatever. They come to work every day wanting to do a good job, and I'm going to give the development team that. I believe they come to work every day wanting to do a good job and invest what they have into this game, because, by the way, if you do a good job, then you get entrusted with more later, and good things start happening for you down the road. So Nooch does not put any credence in the fact, and in saying, honestly, guys, I gotta say, and I'm sorry, GKM, but it makes me really angry when you say the developers don't care about the game, because you are really besmirching the character of human beings. You're saying there are human beings designing this game, making money to support their families, pushing forward with their ideas, trying to learn what's going on in a very complex game in a very short period of time with a very agitated community, and trying to put stuff up, and they just don't care. And that's not true. Gameloft doesn't care. I'm in for that. I'm in for the corporation not caring. Lego doesn't care. Nooch is down for that. I don't think Lego cares whether this game succeeds or fails, because they don't think they're going to make enough money on it. And they're just all geared up for Skywalker Saga anyway. I believe those two things. I don't believe this development team doesn't care about the game. I have one more example. We're going to look at some chat from, or some stuff from Nooch's chat. We should auto this. Here's another example. I had one from Nooch's life. Now I can't think of it. Well, let's just say I know what it is. So Nooch and his family had purchased tickets, airline tickets, to go to Spain last March. We're in the United States. We were going to go to Spain. My son was over there on foreign exchange. He was in Madrid. We were going to go visit him, take a cool trip to Spain. We had spent a bunch of money on airline tickets for 3 of us to go. Me, Mrs. Nooch, and our and Seven Luke were going to go over to Spain to visit our son over there, who was an exchange student, and do some traveling around Madrid, maybe go to Portugal, do a lot of cool things. Well, of course, COVID hits, right? So we can't travel to Spain. So I called the airline. Hey, can we get credits for these? And by the way, we want to get some tickets to Miami. We're going to try and go to Miami instead. Okay, they worked that out. They sent us some vouchers in email. They give us the tickets to Miami. Well, then it turns out we ain't going anywhere. And this all happened like within the span of 2 weeks. There was nowhere. We were not going to Miami. We weren't going nowhere. So then Nooch had to call the airline and had to say, hey, now I need vouchers for these other tickets that you just cashed in for Miami. And from there, guys, it was a debacle. It was a complete mess. They couldn't get the credits issued right. Nooch had to call in 2 or 3 times after that. Just so frustrating, over months at a time. So here is what this is like, guys. Nooch could have made this decision. I could have said, this is my 3rd time calling. I'm going to scream and yell at the first person that picks up the phone, the first agent that answers the phone to help me solve my problem that they had nothing to do with creating. Whatever agent I get today is not the agent I had 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. That agent had zero to do with creating the problem that I'm in right now, and I need their help. I need that agent to help me get my refund for the ticket. I need their help. So does me calling and yelling and screaming and blaming that agent for something that happened well before them and completely out of their control, is that useful behavior? Or am I taking that agent and dragging them in the mud? By the way, while they're getting thousands of calls from every person that had an airline ticket over the next 6 months. Anybody that bought a ticket in 2020 airlines was calling those airlines in March when Nooch was calling to try to get refunds. So those people are working overtime, crushing themselves, spending more time away from their families to make more money for their families. And these aren't ticket agents, guys. These are not wealthy people. They're just making a living. So Nooch is also making a living. He's supposed to call and scream at that person in order to get what he wants and get his point across? No, it's not that person's fault. I don't believe that it's the developer's fault, the position they put in. The companies decide they're going to be investing less in the game. The company Gameloft and Lego are not pouring their resources into the game because, honestly, again, I know you guys have pointed out the game could have made more money. They wanted to develop a game that wasn't about making money, and they wanted to develop a game that was kid-friendly for whatever reason. That's the choice. Completely kid-friendly. And the game has also proven that it's not going to make a bunch of money, even when you put like Ghostbusters. I don't know why Ghostbusters was a choice, but whatever. Somebody thought Ghostbusters was a good choice. Some old white guy running the thing thought Ghostbusters was a good choice because he saw it in the 80s and it was really cool. Whatever. So this is a failure or an abandonment by upper management. Let's find this team. Is this the team? There's no gens there. Whatever. So this is the upper management of Gameloft and Lego abandoning this game. They don't want to invest in this game. They just don't. The developers are coming to work every day and doing their darndest to understand what's going on and put out a product. They've been communicating with us on the content creator page. It may not be the communications we want, and they may not be able to give us all the answers they want. But it's not like they're completely closed-mouthed. But here we are. We're going to get mad and say that they're not even trying. When they're just people trying to make I feel really, really strongly about this, guys. You can't blame the people that are... Here's another example. Nooch made a living in subprime mortgages back in the day. Was Nooch the one setting the program, selling the bogus paper to the securitizers, wrecking the economy? Well, I was probably part of that, honestly. No, Nooch was just trying to make a living for his family. I mean, that's all I was trying to do. It was the business I ended up in. I didn't know any better for a while. Toward the end, it was pretty clear it wasn't a sustainable business and wasn't a really great thing. But honestly, guys, it was the only way Nooch knew how to make a living. And it took 5 years after that collapse for Nooch to figure out a new career path and understand what he was going to do with his life. Is Nooch to blame for the subprime mortgage crisis in the United States and almost collapsed the entire economy? There's a little bit of blame there. There is. Nooch sold those products. Sold them to mortgage brokers. Nooch was on the lender side of it, sold the products to the brokers, enabled them to fund the loans. I never talked to any customers. So Nooch has a small amount of blame, and I'll take that. But if you're gonna put the entire blame for the entire economy collapse on Nooch, guys, I wasn't making that much money. I was just supporting my family. So you're gonna say that Nooch, it's the same thing. Get off these guys' backs. I'm gonna share a little conversation here, and I really appreciate this feedback we were getting today. This is from Malouf, and this is in Nooch's Discord server. Again, guys, the links are always down below for Nooch's Discord server, and if you go onto Nooch's main YouTube page, there's a direct link to the Discord server on there. I noticed how Nooch tries to go low to borrow characters to try to get some currency out to the guys who have those characters down low. So Jester was talking to Nooch today, and honestly, Jester was unhappy that Nooch was being honest on GK. Honestly, the state of the game is not super awesome, guys. I mean, everything is not awesome. We feel like there's not a lot of development going on. We want to see more. We want more for the game. It doesn't seem like that's coming. We don't really see a tremendous future for this game, and that's frustrating, and I got to be honest about that. But Jester was saying stop being negative and actually being pretty aggressive about it, and Nooch was not happy, but that's a separate conversation. Because I got to be honest, you guys are depending on Nooch to carry the flag out here in public on YouTube and also on the content creator program and Discord. So we're going to be honest about what's going on. We do need more content in the game, but I'm not going to sit here and yell at some guys that are just trying to make a living for their family to do it. Here's what Malouf said. All we can do as a community until then, which is meaning when the next update comes out, when update 9 comes out at the end of April. Yes, we have to wait till the end of April, so it probably means rerun content next month as well. All we can do as a community until then is work with what we have and pray for the best. I'm sure that this development team is probably working in a very stressful environment. Internally, not knowing what, when, where, and having to suddenly create and fix everything. Externally, with a community that is already aggravated with the game. We'll see if the update causes a mass exodus or enjoyment and growth. That's exactly how Nooch feels. Right there, Malouf summed it up. I'm sorry if I don't know if I'm going to pronounce your name right. Malouf. I have so much appreciation for that, and it is so true. You have these game developers working in this super stressful environment where they're just trying to get things done, and we're all out here screaming at them. The developers take the hit for everything, guys. Nobody ever yells at the marketing department. Guess what the marketing department does? They make all the decisions about what's going to get invested in the game, what the developers should be working on next. What characters are our developers working on next? Marketing has decided that. The developers have maybe some small input to say, well, we could develop this, we could develop that. But marketing and upper management makes those decisions, guys, not the developers. They work on what they've got in front of them. And what they were handed was, here, work on this. We're not going to help you understand what it is. And you don't get to keep the old development team around. They didn't keep even one person from that old development team to help them understand what's going on. So Nooch appreciates this feedback from Maloof, and agrees with it 100%. Guys, we're all frustrated with the game. We all played this game for 6 months, and we love the way it starts, and we believe the game has a lot of potential for future development. But we're not seeing that potential develop. We're just not seeing it. And we are not getting that development in the game. We don't know when or if it's coming. We don't know if a raid is coming. We don't know when guild-based content is coming where we can all participate in something together. We just don't know these things, guys. We don't know. And the development team doesn't have answers for us because they're working hard every day. So do the developers care about this game? Of course they do. And they do because they care about their families. So when we target our ire and we target our disappointedness in the game and are disappointed that we're not investing in the game and the game isn't quite what we want it to be, or maybe not at all what we want it to be, Nooch I believe that should be targeted at Gameloft and LEGO, upper management, rather than at the developers themselves. They're just trying to feed their families and produce good content they can. I'm trying to stretch this out. We got to stretch so we can watch Garmadon die here, and we can watch the Space Heroes finish up Day 4 of Expedition. But guys, that is really how Nooch feels about it. Hopefully, this helps you understand a little bit about what's going on, maybe about life. I don't know. You're always better off talking with somebody as if you put yourself in their shoes. Do your best, put yourself in somebody else's shoes, have some empathy, and understand the situation they're in before you start just dragging them behind and talk about what a bad human they are because they don't care about something that you like. We've all got different stuff going on, guys. Let's have a little understanding. And remember, Nooch too good. Of course you enjoyed laying witness to this video. Subscribe here on Lord Vader. Watch another video over here. Remember, Nooch too good.